Today on Hoopty Doodle, we're wiring in the taillights on this CB500 custom motorcycle. Alright, so bike is made to Texas. Now we need to get the electrical done on this thing, which basically just means wiring up the taillights and the headlight. And turn signals. And looking at the taillight, we've got several wires coming down here. These smaller ones, these red and yellow ones, these are both the two turn signals right there. Then we've got the tail light, and then this is the stock license plate light. So let's try and get these things wired up. Now I need to drill a hole actually in the bottom of this thing to run wires through. So right in here, somewhere I need to drill a hole, run the wires. All those wires need to come from the tail light into the bike, so to speak here. And I've got a bunch of grommets here. And in order to determine what size hole I'm going to drill in here, I'm going to first determine what size grommet I need to wrap all these wires here. Basically, kind of, sort of. The question is, how small of a grommet can fit all these wires? Let's find out. 5/8 looks like it might be close here. So yeah, 5/8 should work. Alright, so I've got this marked off right here where I want to drill a hole. So right there where that silver dot is, that's where we want to do it. I'm going to go ahead and use a center punch and mark that spot. Alright, then go ahead and drill it out with a small drill first. Alright, I'll go ahead and install my grommet. Alright, grommet is in. Now it's a matter of working these wires up through here. Alright, they all fit. Isn't that nice? Nice and snug, too. So that's perfect. Alright, so I've got a little assortment pack of heat shrink here with different sizes. I'm going to go ahead, pull these wires back out, and then we're going to heat shrink the stuff down here. Just to sort of tidy things up a bit, and then we'll stick everything back through here. Alright, I'm going to pull these through here. I'm not going to heat shrink things down just yet. We'll get everything wired in here the way we want it. Don't worry about the heat shrink. And now I need to sort this out in terms of, I got all these wires. This is the wires coming from the bike. This is the wires coming from the tail light. This is the stock light and wire setup and wire connection for the license plate light, and that literally can plug straight back into this guy and be good to go. All the other ones, the tail light is the most challenging one. That one we have to rewire. This connector, I do not have one for this. I do have the little wire connectors for the turn signals though. I can rewire these guys. I can basically change the pins out on these, and I can plug those guys in here and be good to go. Because I'm going to end up having to trim things back a little bit. Let's start with the hard part, which is the tail light. So that's this guy right here. I've got 3 wires. I don't know which does what. I ran out to the store to get wire connectors. I really wanted to get just some female ends of these bullet connectors and just do it simply, you know, with readily available materials. Some connectors on this side and just plug these guys together, right? But I cannot find bullet connectors, man. They don't sell them. Like, it's so weird. So I've got this assortment of just other regular connectors, and I'm going to use these quick connector things here. Disconnects, whatever they call them. But yeah, I'm going to use these guys, and we'll have to wire up both sides. I even looked stuff up online, and I was kind of like, what's going on around here? Since we're here, alright, so then I got a little bit of shrink wrap here. I'm going to cut off a little bit of this stuff. Throw this on the wire.
Alright.
This guy on here, hopefully. Alright, there's one connection. Let's do another. And I guess I'm going to do all females on this side. I don't really know which wires go to which on the taillight here, so I'm just going to wire all these up so they're the same, and then I can interchange them as needed to figure out which wire goes to where. Alright, there's all those guys, and then we got to do these guys over here. And then using the opposite connectors and making sure they actually fit in here. Yes, they do. Alright, so taillight wired up. Let's heat shrink this sucker. Alright, let's get these guys where we want them. Just down in the ends here. Now we're on to turn signals. So these guys here. Alright, so I salvaged the old connector housings from the old bike, from the original connectors for this bike, and then I've got these the actual little electrical connector pieces here that go inside the housing. I've got those. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these guys, swap them over to these wires here. So let's cut these guys off and rewire them. Let's see what we got. I'll take one of these. There's that guy wired up. Alright, so we got the taillights figured out, at least. So taillight, brake light combo thing, that's figured out, that works. Which means that this is my wire set up for that. Where the green coming from the bike goes to the black on the taillight. The red goes to the blue and green, and the yellow goes to the pink and blue. So that's how the taillight is set up, and that's how it works. With this stuff sorted out, I'm going to go ahead and heat shrink this stuff and basically seal up the whole connection point area for all these, and also we'll insulate them from each other. So I'm going to throw some heat shrink on here like that, and like this, and then connect them together and throw the heat shrink over it and shrink that down with my heat gun. Alright, so looking at the wiring diagram, blue, this is supposed to be the right hand side is a blue. Let's see what we actually got here. It's actually what I've got hooked up. Alright, and then ground is the green wire, which should be the black wire here, which is not what I had. Alright, it works. It works. So you can see that one works now. But if I put the hazards on, like the hazard button, it's only that one light that works. Alright, so I know I've got this blue one, which is the right side of the bike, correct. So I'm going to bring out my actual other piece of the connector, figure out how this orients, take out my little pins there, and this guy goes in with this little connector piece, this little connector sort of bump on top. That lines up with all this stuff where this connects in, so it should slide in something like that and lock into place. So I want, knowing that, I sort of fake put it in there like that. We've got on this side is our ground, which is the black, so that needs, this guy needs to go in over there. Let's see if this locks in enough for it to actually work. Try to turn the bike on. Signal comes on. Sweet. Alright, so that one's done. Let's do the same for this guy. So in theory, ground, the opposite of how I had it. I just was unlucky, man, trying this out. Granted, I could have looked it up on the wiring diagram at any point and done it correctly, but you know. Signal both sides now. does seem a little hyper flashy. All right, so that completes our wiring for the rear. So we've got the stock license plate light right here, just plugged right back in like normal. These guys are rewired, new turn signals, new pins, new turn signals, wired in there, and then completely put new connections here for the tail lights, cut off the old one, put new connections on for that. And on the back here, the result is we turn our bike on. We've got the license plate light down here, tail light right there. We've got a brake light. We've got right turn signal, left turn signal. Everything works. The flashing rate, I'm not so sure about at the moment, but one step at a time. All right, with that small victory in hand, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up everything back here. Basically take some electrical tape and wrap all this stuff up so it's nice and clean, and then try and organize it back here as best I can. Almost looks like it's supposed to be there. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see ya.